Hi, this is Rick Weston with Insurance Career Training, and we're excited to share some information with you with regards to our vendor CE event program. We've been doing these programs since 2008, and we've been able to assist several clients that are interested in hosting classes as a way to do some outreach and marketing to local insurance professionals. So we want to share a little information about that with you, see if we can answer some questions for you with regards to how our program works. With that, let me bring up some slides that will be of assistance that we can refer to as we do so. All right, so this has proven to be a positive way for various companies that are interested in reaching out to insurance agents. Could be auto glass companies or auto repair facilities, restoration contractors, probably the largest group that we work with doing this, and they're trying to build referral relationships with local insurance professionals. So we've been able to help them successfully do that by allowing them to host CE classes. So kind of walk you through the mechanics of what's involved in that. The insurance agents are often first responders. So they're usually the folks that get the call, or their adjusters get the call from folks that have had a loss on their property or their vehicle, whatever the case might be. And a lot of times those clients that have that happen, it's the only time that's ever happened to them, and they're not really sure where to go to get assistance in terms of repair and reconstruction or cleaning out water, those sort of things. So the agent is a resource to kind of help them figure out where to go. And of course our goal is to help position you so that you'll be top of mind in terms of that relationship, so that when they have a client with a loss like that, they'll think of you. And that's really what we're trying to do, is put you in a good position to do that. One of the things that happens is that a lot of companies that are trying to build those relationships for referrals will have folks out visiting agents' offices. So they'll stop in and visit with the agent about what their business can do, and maybe hand out some cards or a little bit of literature, and try to solicit referrals at that point. And one of the challenges with that is, of course, that when you go in those offices, you're kind of one in a crowd. The agents have a lot of folks that come in to see them, soliciting opportunities to work with them. So you don't really get a chance to stand out oftentimes, and it's kind of hard to reach the right person. Sometimes when you go in, there's a gatekeeper there, and you might not actually be connecting with the person you need to talk to who handles the claims in the office. So by inviting them to an insurance class, you kind of change the dynamic on that. They have to have CE credits. Most states require several hours of CE for each of their agents to renew their license. And so you're able to invite them into a class that is offering something they really need in terms of renewing their insurance license. Because it's kind of a casual, relaxed, fun setting, it changes the opportunity for you to visit with them. So during the course of the class, you'll get them away from their phones at the office, whatever the distractions are and the stresses of that, and you'll have multiple times to visit with them. Typically, as they are arriving, you get to greet them. During the breaks, you get to visit with them, and usually there's a lunch break, so you can visit with them, maybe do a demonstration or some sort of presentation over lunch. So it's a real positive experience for the agents, and then for you as a host as well. There's also multiple contacts involved. So if you were running a program like this, you'd be able to go out and visit them in the office just like you were currently maybe, but instead of just handing them a card and soliciting business, you're inviting them to something. So it's a positive experience whether they come or not, because you're inviting them to the class. And then they will generally call you to RSVP. So when your office receives the RSVP or through an email, you have another point of contact there. And then normally you want to reach out to them a day or two before the class just to confirm that they are still going to be able to make it and still planning to attend. So you have a third point of contact at that point. And then obviously during the event, so you'll have multiple opportunities to visit with them that day during the actual CE event. And then finally, we send a survey to them a couple days after the event, and that survey references your company as the host. You see those survey responses, by the way, the same time we do, but there's another point of contact after the class as well as a result of that. So again, multiple contacts and multiple chances to visit with them over the course of that. So what happens is we would work together to set up your schedule, and we really manage the class. Once we set up your events, we manage the class, and you are in a position to play host. So you get to be relaxed in front of the agents and visiting with them and building those relationships. And we handle all of the compliance side of it and running the course and actually teaching the course so that you don't have to be concerned about those sort of issues. If the room that you provide, now you would want to provide the location, if the room doesn't have a projector or screen, then we can provide those sort of items as well, if it's not already equipped. You would need to provide the location, and I'd say about half of our clients do these in-house, so they actually have the class at their facility if they've got a room that's appropriate for that. But the other half go off-site and do it, so they're doing this at hotels or banquet halls or restaurants, or I've seen them at public libraries, casinos, any number of locations like that. So you would provide the location, plus you would be involved in providing any meals. So most of the companies that do this will offer some sort of lunch during the middle of the day, and typically it's going to be 12 to 1. Doesn't have to be, but typically 12 to 1. And then oftentimes they'll have some sort of a coffee or Danish or bagels, donuts, those sort of things in the morning as people are arriving. Now the normal day when we do these starts at 9 o'clock for the agents. That's when the class starts, and it typically will run 9 to 4 or 9 to 5. Provide 6 or 7 hours of CE. That might be one class that runs all day long, or it might be two classes, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So you could have some agents that could only attend one or the other. Honestly, most agents stay the whole day anyway. But we'll set up a schedule that makes sense based on what you're looking to accomplish. And normally our instructor is going to get there early, 8 to 8:30, and we can change times based on the local demands you have for your location. But they typically get there 8 to 8:30, set up. Agents arrive 8:30 to 9 and get signed in for the class, and you're visiting with them as they arrive. And then every hour there's a 10-minute break, so you have a chance to visit during those times. And then normally there's an hour lunch break in the middle of the day. Like I said, most of the time it's from 12 to 1. And during that time frame, you can also have material of yours setting out on the desk or the tables where the agents are sitting. So you might have business cards or promotional giveaways. You're free to distribute all of that kind of material during the course of the day as well. So our class, in terms of picking out what you're going to do, we've got a pretty extensive course catalog. And the topics that we have outlined in that catalog are things that are of interest to the insurance agents or insurance professionals. So they're about things that they use day to day. A lot of times what we'll hear from the agents that attended is that they were able to go back and apply some of the information directly into what they're doing day to day. So you're giving something of value to the local insurance agent community, and they generally express their appreciation for you doing that. One thing that some of the folks that we've done in the past as we've done programs for in the past have done is set up a outreach to local insurance agents they already know and share some of the topics to kind of solicit their interest, see what topics that are on our course catalog they've got the most demand for in their market. But if not, we can assist you with that. We have a pretty good handle as to what insurance agents and adjusters are going to be interested in. So what will happen is you'll invite your agent contacts, and we can help you design a flyer to do that, to help market the events. But you'll do that through outreach, either the phone or emails or out visiting agents and doing that sort of thing. We can also assist with that. Frequently we're able to send a pretty good email blast to help you spread the word about your classes and kind of assist you in the marketing process, so we can help make it a successful program for you as well. One of the things we find too is that as you start these programs, it might be new to the local insurance agents that you're doing so, and so it might take some time, a class or two, for you to start to ramp up the attendance on that. What we find oftentimes for agents who are businesses that have been doing this for a while is that they have a list of agents that are wanting to attend, even to the point where they have a waiting list. They fill the capacity of their room, and they are putting people on a waiting list in case somebody cancels. So the program generally gains momentum over time as agents start to realize that you're doing this. So how many should you invite then? So how many agents would you want to have attend? And that's really based on a couple of issues. One is the size of the space that you're dealing with. So if you're doing this in-house, you're going to have a limitation based on how big your room is in terms of how many agents could attend. If you're doing it off-site, then it's obviously limited the same way based on the room that you're renting to do that. I've had some classes where they're fairly small, and it works well for that vendor. That's kind of what they're looking for. I have some where there are 100 plus there. The nice thing about having a group that's not too large is that you have a better opportunity to have interaction with the agents that are there. The averages are about 20 to 40 is typically what we'll see attending these programs. And we really recommend that you have multiple programs. If you were just doing this as a one-time event, it's really hard to build relationships that way. Whereas if you're doing this on a regular basis, you'll have multiple opportunities for that agency to get to know your team and the folks in that agency. Sometimes they can't send everybody at once, to have multiple people from the agency coming to classes over a period of time. So we really recommend you either do this on a monthly basis, every other month, or once a quarter, depending on the size of the market you're in and you know, what works best for that market. And we can visit about that when we're down to talking about your individual dates as to what makes the most sense for you. So how does the pricing on this work? If you're scheduling 4 or more events, which is usually what we recommend over the course of a year, the per event rate is $1,275, and that will provide the full day of instruction and the instructor and everything that we're bringing to the table, and that will cover the cost for up to 50 attendees. So if you have more than 50 attendees in any class, then there is a surcharge involved. And the surcharge is $200 if you have 51 to 100 attendees. The surcharge is $400 if you have 101 to 150, et cetera, as the group gets, as the size gets larger. And we'll typically reach out to you about a week before the class to get a head count, make sure we can prepare enough material and have a handle as to how many people you're going to have there. But you're really in control of that in terms of how many people you're going to have RSVP and planning to attend your courses. As far as the any additional costs, sometimes there is a travel surcharge. Normally we try to use local instructors, but if we're in a market where we don't have a local instructor, we've got several of them around the country, you know, 70 or so instructors, but if we're in a place where we don't have a local instructor that we're working with you in, and we have to send somebody out from our office, we do charge for travel. And on average, that's about $600, obviously, depending on where we're going, but typically about $600. And what happens there is that if we've got a series of classes set up with you, we will quickly start to work on trying to find a local instructor for your area. And once we've identified a good local instructor and we're not sending somebody out from our office, we'll drop that travel surcharge, and that would not apply to future classes once we have that set up. There is an option if you are going with fewer than 4 dates per year, and the rate goes from that $1,275 I mentioned to $1,775, and that's if you're scheduling fewer than 4 events. We don't really recommend that. Hosting a event doesn't really give you the marketing lift and doesn't really work as a marketing system the way we're talking about. So, but we do have that option at $1,775 would be the per event rate instead of $1,275. One of the things that a number of our clients do is they actually charge the agents to attend. Agents are kind of used to paying to get their CE in different venues that they might go to do so, so it's not unusual for them to do that. And if you charge the agents a small fee to attend, that will help cover some of your costs, and that obviously you would collect that, and that would be payable to you. We're just going to charge you our event fee. That partly depends on the community you're in as well. So in some communities, agents are used to getting these classes for free, and if you're charging, that will have a negative impact on your attendance because they're not used to paying for that. And in other communities, they're kind of accustomed to paying. So it's one of those things we'll visit about in your particular case at that time. Another issue that about half of our clients do is they use co-sponsors. So co-sponsors would be other businesses that are in your community that are interested in speaking to or getting in front of that same group of agents that you're trying to market to. So if you're a restoration company, for example, which is what most of our clients are, you might be able to have your dry cleaner, if you have somebody doing your textiles as a co-sponsor, or maybe a local collision business or an auto glass repair facility, or perhaps a auto rental car agency. And all of those people are trying to build relationships with that same group of agents. So they're interested in an opportunity to get up and speak at the meetings and share some information and pass out material. So co-sponsoring does 2 things for you. One is it gives you a way to defray some of the costs. So that's one perk to that. The other one is that those other companies that we're talking about generally have marketing personnel of their own that are out visiting agents and getting into their offices and seeing them. And so you get to piggyback a little bit on their marketing because they're going to take the same flyer out that you're using and hand it out to people as well. Typically, when there's a co-sponsor, we'll list the co-sponsors on the flyer with their logo and their information as well. So it gives you a way to help get word out to other areas, maybe agencies that you're not personally visiting yourself, and piggyback on that effort. So how do we get started? If you're looking at this saying, yes, this is something we want to do, we think it will benefit our business, and we've been talking about it perhaps, the first thing is you want to reach out to me, and what we'll do is work on putting together a schedule based on your targeted months. What months would you like to do classes? We'll check availability with our instructors, and I'll generally send you a proposed schedule to review. And if that looks good, all you have to do is sign off on it, and that locks those dates in or confirms them on our calendar. So we'll have an instructor and be ready to roll with those dates for you. We don't require a contract, however, so you're just approving the dates. If we start down this path and you feel like this is not helping you grow your business, it isn't meeting your needs in that area, then you can cancel the program at any time. We do just ask for a 30-day notice on the cancellation so we can free up that date for somebody else to use, but certainly you can cancel those. And the reason we say that is we don't require a contract is we really don't want you paying for something that's not helping you grow your business. We have a lot of confidence in what we're doing because historically we found that it does. It works very well, and most of our clients continue to renew their program from year to year because they find that they're getting more referrals from the program than actually the cost of hosting it. So it makes sense for them financially. In fact, for a number of our clients, this is their primary marketing system that they're using to build relationships with insurance agents and get those referrals. This is the primary way they're doing that. So we don't have much in the way of worry about people canceling on us because for the most part we know that if we do what we're supposed to do and you do follow our direction on that, this should work for you in terms of building referrals and getting business as a result of it. So we are currently have clients with the dates booked all the way into next year. So the sooner the better in terms of reaching out and trying to check availability and get dates that will work for you. And you've got my contact information there on the bottom of that slide through phone number or through email, and I'll be happy to visit with you, answer additional questions at that point, and help you get the program started. So at this point, I just want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to watch the video and learn a little bit more about our program. We've got a number of clients we've been doing this with for a number of years, and one of the things I hear frequently from them is that they'll have a class oftentimes early on in the process that generated enough revenue to pay for multiple classes down the road over the next year or years to come. And that's become so common a story that sometimes I think people are surprised that hosting a class or two will have that kind of impact. But we are very confident in what we're able to do in terms of helping you with it, and we've had great feedback from both the agents that attend as well as from the clients that are hosting it that this has become a valuable part of their marketing arsenal. So with that, we appreciate again your time and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Okay.